Friends and family, my name's Trey, and today I'm talking about epigenetics, the God self, and the habit mind, and how I'm talking about how the fake gods we call the archons, the demiurge, Lucifer, the name we can't say, etc. The Anunnaki race have set up, and the Greys have set up this system to suck our energy, both after life and during life, permanently. Ideally, they think it. And so, how if you try to change your habit or move or change your life, that they're gonna try to distract you, attack you, or make you flip the fuck out and all that, because they can't feed off your energy if you improve yourself. And so I see this all the time, particularly in this little pseudo Neverland for adults here. I mean, people that are not wage slaves or property tax slaves in this county are oftentimes, if they're not really wealthy, they're on disability, and they seem to me like a lot of them like adults in a Neverland, and that's their that's their cage, that's their golden cage, so. Because if they try to change their habits, oftentimes, especially those on disability, the archons are just, again, they think of it as a loose drip feeding system. And so, and many people, as soon as they try to change or move away, their attendant archons will harass and attack them every time they attempt to change a routine, habit, addiction, or move, or even vacation. What's going on with this? Well, the gods are really soulless vampire junior gods often. The people, that things that people think are the voice of God are really feeding off their energy, causing them harm because they're predator spirits, and they want you to be in anguish. That's their food. If they can't get you to rape or be raped or be in a war, kill or be killed, or be in some physical disease or horrible physical addiction, they want you in that low-grade trauma that still gives them energy. Look at geoengineering, for example. It's happening right now. Why do I have to go between the perfect, lovely Santa Cruz 72-degree afternoon weather of May, right, almost any month, and cold weather, almost cold weather with the hoodie, back and forth, over and over and through, because they only sprayed a little bit, so it's just pathetic how obvious this shit is. And then we have humans 2.0, geoengineering. The dark side is trying to have full spectrum dominance, okay, over the whole planet. Like my friend Hugo said, it's like BG wants you to know he controls it all. The gods are really soulless vampire junior gods, unless they actually, repent and promote free will and respect and harmlessness and Christ awareness. That's all they're going to be. They're fake. Okay, and sometimes they're robotic, sexless workers. Like, for example, the Greys, they devolved to a point where they can't reproduce, and they told the government, "We're you in the future, and this is what's going to happen if you keep on your path." And the whole CIA thing is going to have to be examined, openly very soon. And the unclassified documents of the last several years are going to become common knowledge. To once it becomes over 50% of the people, it's over, and that's why they have to make sure they have their misinformation agents and their gatekeepers in play, all across the disclosure community, of course. So. The devil is lived, spelled backwards. The devil is lived backwards or inverted. Okay, think about sex change operation for your hormone blockers for your children. Everything that Lucifer promotes is all inversion. the opposite of life, living backwards. You don't awaken, you woke. You go to the back, the past tense. The real original creator gave us free will. But all of the dark side's actions are backwards. This is how you can tell if it's luciferic or satanic or from the dark realms, the mind controllers, the dark angels, the fallen ones. It'll leave a signature of harm. Like when the ambulance comes to get you, they save your life, but they cause people hearing damage sometimes. Well, it's a signature. When Lucifer gives you medicine, it's got side effects, right? It's got horrible, terrible side effects. But then we have the Freedom of Information Act, Sagittarius rising USA. So it's a very, very trippy time to be alive, right? So our divine creator gave us all free will, but yet hidden in the details is the devil making it sick. Addictions are in the past. Passions, a beating heart, still alive. Will, love, and discernment. She, our divine mother, creator, wants us to live. She does not want us to die. The fake junior gods want us to kill ourselves so they can have energy. But our real mother, father, original creator, the divine beings that originally created us, do not want us to be harmed. That's why we're given this amazing gift of free will. She wants us to live, grow, and expand in awareness, for we are her children, okay? Archons want us distracted, addicted, stuck, sidelined, to steal our energy. All of these things are really open these days, folks. It just takes a lot of self-examination, a lot of, you got to repent, respect yourself, look in the mirror, look at your actions, or else every single time you don't examine the details of your beliefs or your actions, exactly what you're doing, exactly what you're thinking, the devil, the archons, the demiurges, the fake gods are going to get in there often and mess up your day and mess up your afternoon because you weren't paying attention. That's why I preach discernment. Okay, they want you to be stuck in your fucking fake ass problems that they created for you and all of us. The fake problems that create divisions that never get to the organic farm, never get to the community. Like even the time when I questioned the Yahweh video, just doing that, you could plausibly say that Archon inspired me to make that video to get shadow banned. Okay, so what I'm saying is that I'm not saying that there's something wrong with what I said in that video. What I'm saying is that what they want to do is promote you to be alone, suffering, impoverished, or whatever is going to disconnect you from others. In 2020, I looked on the ground and I'd always see 3 6s on the ground. 3 6s. Stay 666. No, don't. Stay within the queendom of heaven on earth, in your heart. Stay, as Yeshua said, in the living kingdom that's not in the scriptures, it's in the now. The fake gods invented the Matrix. They created this crazy notion of solipsism to go with it, social Darwinism, harvest technology. And now we have virtual vacuum holes to try to pull us all into individual and collective AI online black hole sun. Are we gonna die in a black hole sun made out of AI that leads us all to Abaddon? Or is this the beginning of the real humans living in freedom and respect, harmony, and the queendom of heaven, or the divinity living socially on this planet, or this divine sphere Gaia for the first time in millions of years since Lucifer's rebellion? The choice is up to humanity. Are we going to let them pull us all into a black hole sun called Abaddon, in oblivion. We were given the great, massive gift of free will, embodiment. Yet we are allowed to be lazy. It's part of the deal. We are allowed to ignore our free will. We are allowed to forget the idea that maybe we have a blueprint. Maybe there's a mission why we're here, a reason why we're here. We're allowed to give up on ourselves, commit suicide, become an addict, become stuck in a rut, become controlled, food for the archons, food for the dark beings. But we're also allowed to regain our wings if we have that amount of discernment and courage. We are allowed to be lazy, turn away, obey, be slaves or addicts. The archons can and will feed on your energy with all addictions. Lisa Renee said that, and it's so true. Any kind of addiction. They can eat your energy and powers through any addiction. Why the first book I read around about tantric philosophy and sexual practice that was called The Tantric Quest. Why does he say that spontaneity is the highest level of awareness? And at the end of the book, she said his teacher told him to ride the bus. And why did he say that? Think about the mind control we're under, planetary mind control we're under now, and how deep it goes, and how well the dark ones have, how good they've become at mind control. And that answers it. If you see people that are actually being spontaneous in the year 2024, there's a good chance they're somewhat awake, or they're really messed up on drugs or alcohol. And all lower energies can be made into loosh, anguish, fear, discouragement, depression, anger, self-possession, positionality, narcissism, survival beast mode, as I call it, psychological, and even all physical and even all psychological addictive patterns, stuff like cannabis that's not physically addictive, stuff like certain foods that aren't physically addictive, but anything that's addictive can be used as a feeding for the dark beings. If you're addicted to something or you feel like you need to have it, your anxiety can feed them. So consider your real self ideally as a sculpture, not a drawing or not a painting. What do I mean? Well, it's our job to create our lives, whatever we want to do. If we're being respectful and harmless, to live our blueprint, our agreement, or create the art of your life. But a lot of the occasions, it's not like a painting, it's like a sculpture. Like you're a slab of clay. Because for one thing, you gotta get all the layers of the fallen one's garbage mind control out of the way first to even begin to create. I mean, how many people who are normal wage slaves or property tax slaves do you see that are being creative unless they're an artist? I mean, like I said, the artist or musician is on the quickest path to the divine. That's my first path. If they're good, I mean, you can experience creation, being a creator. So, if you consider it, oftentimes it's a sculpture, man. You have to sculpt. You're the raw clay, and you sculpt it out. Your life path, your plan. Because if you don't sculpt it and make a detailed sculpture, how are you going to have the depth? And how are you going to, be clear, if you don't excavate, your subconscious and do the shadow work? So I think it's a pretty good analogy. Every single time you argue for your limitations, this is a big one that I still have to work through 100%. Every time you argue for your limitations, to go back to the old way or what you did before or something, and this is a really overt way to see that we're being, our minds are being orchestrated or controlled by the dark ones, subtly even. When you only, and again, thinking about the devil is the word lived backwards. So what happens, especially if you have a fixed zodiac sign, but even just anyone, unless you're really aware and discerning, we go back to the same places, the same habits, the same towns, over and over and over. We go back to the past. Why? Because that seems comfortable and safe to us, you know. Every single time you argue for your limitations, you argue for Lucifer's control over you subtly, in a way, in a sense. For me, creativity is mostly only accessible in nature or quiet meditational space. Not necessarily. Sometimes I'm creative around the crowd and the public, but I mean, like coming up with an idea for a video or a song that was a decent melody, you know, I think it often, for me, requires private space, quiet, relaxed energy, space apart from the fake-ass stress of the world. The real creator, the divine goddess, inner self, or Christ, which I call Christ Sophia, is in the heart of all human beings. Yet the dark, we're also allowed to ensicken and hybridize us and unplug our DNA and confound our tongues and confuse us and brainwash us, enslave us, subjugate us, imprison, and steer those free wills back into the hell on earth, and even attempted permanent planet of the slaves through Humans 2.0. Why do I say shadow work is the key over and over again? Well, because without the shadow work, how are you going to get free? How are you going to actually live your life and be real to your soul without the shadow work? You see? But you really have to face the fact that your epigenetics is influencing you all the time, and the divine inner self is always there, but yet the epigenetics is going to influence you to try to go along with the crowd. In our history, the law of non-interference has meant free will for all beings. And this is again why both the real divine creator and creators, races, and the evil ones who want to make this planet of the slaves have had to hide. Yet in their hidden circles, in strictest privacy, the junior gods have destroyed a lot of our souls and planet. Successfully. Especially in the last 4 years, tragically. We have massive Moloch tanks to get rid of, you know, ultimately we have to get rid of these storage tanks because they've probably filled some of them up with all the success lately. We have massive Stockholm Syndrome and trauma bonds to our faulty, killer, jealous junior gods who are not the real original creator of humanity. If you are mostly harmless, you can become free, mostly. But the unplugged, unaware, normie humans who are ironically usually extremely plugged into these gadgets can only be a siphoned, stuck slave, and they even use the AI to harvest their energy now. The unplugged, spiritually unplugged, DNA unplugged, but Wi-Fi plugged in, unaware, normie human wage slaves and property slaves can only be a siphoned, stuck slave in one town until he or she wakes up. He is an automaton robot for the archons until God is freed from within. As I've said, the only way it actually occurs. When I'm about to make more changes in my go back to my blueprint, or to go toward the higher path. I feel it. I'm an empath. I feel the archons trying to do everything they can to increase me to feel overwhelmed, increase my fears, distract me from doing the basic steps I need to do to achieve my mission, and amazing results if I'm not if I don't meditate and get extremely grounded. And of course, they can use cannabis or any plant, any drug, plant or organic or otherwise, to increase the distraction, increase you, to block you from your goals if possible. If you allow this, try to reduce my self-confidence, to block my, to cause situations to block your ability to change, increase my disease ratio if they can. To change, you must have, that's why, and this is why, to change, if you're sensitive, to change, you must have a very clear vision to see yourself there clearly. You have to want it and need it and feel it. Don't fake it till you make it. Visualize yourself in that situation, in that change, very, very clearly in order to manifest it. And, not the addiction or the old place or the old way more. It cannot be more strong in your emotional body. You have to feel it in your emotional body. You have to see yourself there clearly, or plan very clearly that you want more. You want to be there more than the past you've lived, more than that subconscious obedience to the devil, which most humans, especially as we get older, we just subconsciously fall into the fallen state of just going backwards into the past. The narcons try to steal and de-energize your dreams. Narcissists, people with N.P.E, people possessed by N.P.Es, and archons or narcons. They feed on your failure. They feed on your failure, and they want you to fail. They love it when we fail. The devil exists in the details. That cliche is so true most of our occasions. The devil exists in the details of the past that continue lived. Lucifer can only control you in the past and in unawareness. You must have more emotional investment in your future that's more respectful to change, and desire to uncover your blueprint, if you don't have it already, your plan, your divine blueprint, your harmless, divine, respectful blueprint, and then remember to live in full commitment to the real divinity within, while turning off, or if you can, if you're smart, turn off radio station 666, or ignore the N.P.E voices, narcissistic predator entities' voices in your head. The archons and the junior gods want you stuck, yet the divine, respectful creator will shine while you choose your life, your place, your routines. Like I chose to come back here and I chose to make this video. When you do what you choose to do, you can shine the divine light of the Christ Sophia in your harmless, respectful actions. In sovereignty, in every action of sovereignty, with discipline, God is the real one is finally born again. The second coming finally happens from within you. If you enjoyed this video, and you haven't already, click subscribe, like, let me know what you thought. Follow me on Odyssey or Rumble if you want a deeper red pill to learn more dirty details. Subscribe, and you know what? If you have the courage, my family, create a great day. Loving you.